Hello my dear Scorpio, this is your love and spirituality reading for the time between February 16 and February 28, 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. I have put astrological information for the month of February in a video of its own that you can check out in my playlist Q&A. You can also find it at my webpage www.queenofcupstarot.se. Press the British flag to get English translation. On my webpage you can also find and buy all the decks I'm using in the video. For this reading in particular, I used the Chart of the Hidden Realm by Barbara Moore and illustrated by Julia Jeffrey. And I will start shuffling your cards. So, when I open your deck here, we have the Two of Swords, Six of Swords, and the Five of Cups. So, it seems like you are in a conflicted situation, either with your own feelings or with another person. But if you're currently out of contact with someone that you love, and this is making you very disappointed, it seems like you are going to be able to heal from this situation and either move on or acknowledge that this relationship is more important and that you need to put more work into it. It might be different for different people. With the Five of Cups is the wave of emotion. You really need to let it come to you. Six of Swords is talking about union between logic and heart. And you won't be able to have any union between logic and heart if you don't know what's on your mind and if you don't know your feelings. So you need to let the tsunami wave of feelings hitting you so you get all the information about the current situation that you're in. If you're trying to keep balance and avoid feeling any feelings, you won't have all the information to make a grounded decision. Okay, so I call the divine with love and light, and here we have the Nine of Cups, and it's a beautiful card. It's a wish card. Nine of Cups is talking about your needs, to know your needs and what you want from life. You need to be able to tap into the same sources, your mind and your emotions, again, to know what you need, what would make you feel satisfied, what would make you feel calm, what would make you feel at ease. We can always put ourselves in calm and at ease by just being in an acceptance mood, and that would also make us accept, for example, that we are starving to death, but it wouldn't prevent us from starving to death. It would just make the starving to death much easier if we didn't resist it. But actually, okay, so there's no food, I'm starving to death. But here you're asked to do something that's both more human but also more difficult. You're supposed to accept your situation but also see to that you're not starving to death. So what do you need? What is making you starving right now? So you need to figure that out. Feel your emotions, know your thoughts. So I call the four archangels in the four corners of the world, and here we have the Hierophant. It's Taurus usually, and it's connected to society and all the like tradition and knowledge of society, and also it's your family. It might be your marriage status. It might be a place of work, also a place where you have your social situations or your income, some place that brings your social security. Okay. So I'm laughing because I'm thinking of social security number for some reason. Yes, it's connected with the words. So I call the six elements: earth, wind, fire, this is four wands, water, spirit, and ether, to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Scorpio viewers. Here you have the Tower, and four wands is spiritual foundation. It's the foundation of your soul or of your being, like a place to be at ease and happy. Four wands is kind of like a marriage, but it's also about self-love. It's your foundation. I often dream about four pillars, and it has been during a period when I was working very hard on my foundation. And so two pillars, they could have been like a porch on a very big house standing on a cliff, for example. So it's about foundation, and you have the Tower, and that's a faulty foundation that needs to be swept away so you can build anew. So something is going on with your foundations, and your foundations is, of course, this with your foundation is your settings, your founding settings. So if you know your thoughts, you know your feelings, you know your foundation. And if you start to love yourself, you are grounding yourself also even more. So that's a great foundation for anyone, to love themselves and know what they need and what they want. So that's a good starting point, and from there you can build up something that's not a house of cards like the tower. Okay, so clear view reading for my dear Scorpio viewers. I want my dear Scorpio to have love in their lives and to find themselves in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. Okay, so it was done there. I will just tune in for a few seconds here to you, Scorpio, and to your reading. Okay. See there. So, my dear Scorpio, then we'll see. This is your future there, and this is your now, and this is the past. So in the past we see the Nine of Swords. So Nine of Swords shows me that you have gone through something that was really hard, like a mental and emotional challenge. Nine of Swords is when you get the effect of something going wrong in your life. It's when you have a hard time falling asleep, and when you wake up at morning, the first thing you're thinking about is this problem in your life. But you have the wisdom out there, and it's stringing on a lot of feathers here in your path. So showing that this pain that you have been through in this situation that shook you to the ground is actually there to give you a lot of wisdom. So you will know better what way you are to walk forward here in your life. So it's not a bad situation per se, but it's very easy in this state to put yourself in victim mentality and start thinking that everyone is out to get you, or like even the world is out to get you, and you are not you're not ever going to experience happiness. But it's not that. The thing is that the pain is exposing situations where you are blocked, or where you are acting in the wrong way, to actually be able to invite happiness and love and all those things in your life. You might be self-sabotaging, for example, and pain is a very good way of seeing that. If it hurts, it's something that wants your attention, it wants to be investigated, and it wants to be seen, so you can take the knowledge out of the situation and know what to do better. Okay, and all the nines is of course connected to the hermit stage, going within, finding the answers. You had also the Nine of Cups, and here you have the Knight of Pentacles. It's Knight of Pentacles has come for a lot of the readings, and it's this very cautious vibe. Whenever the Knight of Pentacles enters the scene, everything kind of stops down to a halt, because the Knight of Pentacles is very slow and very thorough with things, very stubborn and relentlessly working towards their goals, but they need to be sure of what their goals are before they can start the work. So it might be that you need to contemplate of where it is that you want to go with all this hard work. So you're putting hard work into where it really does some use, instead of wasting it maybe on a faulty goal, if it's really not going to fulfill your needs anyway. So the Knight of Pentacles asks you to go on an adventure, but go slow, and be attentive about what's going on around you. So you always can you can watch, listen and watch, and see what's need to be done in this situation to reach your long-term goal. You might also be involved with an earth person, of course, Taurus, Capricorn or Virgo. And this is your future, so this is life renewed. So it's the judgment day. It's about having living through actual life situation that gives you the experience, so you will grow an adult and mature. You will start to see things that you weren't able to see before. You are going to start to see them from an above perspective, and it's going to look so easy now when you have made the experience before. But before you knew, you couldn't have a chance of solving this. So you always need this life experience to be able to do the right call, so to speak. So this can also be a revival of an old situation, especially since you also have the Six of Cups here. That's reconciliation and past life and childhood. And then you have Moon, that's also past lives. So it might be an ability or a memory or a trauma from a past life that wants to resurface and kind of be digested, so it now can be a part of you instead of just hanging around like a trauma. The trauma comes because we are experiencing something that are unknown to us or frightening or painful. But when we are, and usually we run away from that situation, what we saw with the Two of Swords, when you don't want to feel. But if you are able to stay and feel it and digest it, also the knowledge will come to you, and you will be able to take the good out of this bad situation. And that was the whole point of it all, to get the life experience and to get smarter, learning by doing, we can say. So 20, Judgment, is also connected to all the twos and also to 11. So it's Judgment, 11 is Justice, 2 is the High Priestess, and all the twos. Okay. And 11s is the Pages. So Justice, when you listen to the antennas, the pages, like your emotions, your thoughts, who you are in your personality, and who what your soul wants, like through your longing. And here we have one of those antennas, and it's in the past, and it's Page of Cups. So Page of Cups is investigating your feelings by staying with them and just looking on them and feeling them. And also maybe feeling where they are located in your body. If it's in your chest, in your stomach, solar plexus, in your head, in your back, feet, wherever it is located. Just stay with the pain, breathe with the pain. And put your eye on the am. Am is what you are. I is your soul. So put your intention on where it hurts in the body. That's for your yours for borrowing. But you also have an spiritual body that comes with you from life to life, remembering all pains and old wounds, how you have died in different lifetimes and so on. And if they are not digested, you haven't had time to digest the pain of how you died or the injustice in how you died and so on, it's still going to affect you. So you might not really know why you have a bad hip or a bad neck or something. It might have been the reason to why you died in an earlier lifetime. So this superpower, this little page connected to the 11 Justice, is one of those doorways to which you can go to digest an old pain and an old trauma and get the knowledge out of the situation. It's like walking through doorways when you digest pain like this, all memories. Memories are stored in water. Sometimes these memories comes down as tears down our cheeks. So honor those memories. Don't try to flee from them. Sometimes you won't remember. Oftentimes you won't remember with your awakened mind. It's just your emotions remembering. So just go with it and let it remember, because your feelings and the feeling process is much like the digesting system. And if you would prevent yourself from digesting, the pain will increase. Everything you resist persists. So this is about allowing what was there once to still linger with their vibration and feelings, and just stay with it until it's fully digested. So it's you can't rush this. You can help your digesting by putting attention and warmth and love and all those things, but you can't really, it's a natural process. So you can't say, oh, now I'm digested, now it's finished with the digestion and it's still there. It hasn't gone anywhere. So Page of Cups can also be emotional message. All the pages are messengers. They they were scouts once, messengers that came with a message. And this message seems to don't want to tell their secret. Okay, so it might be someone being secretly in love with you, but they don't want to cause a scene, or they don't want to have the uncomfortable truth coming out. Like if you just dream about the situation, the dream is like having a caramel in your mouth, but if the dream comes to reality and you say to this person, I love you, and they say, I don't love you, then it will turn sour. So that might be why you're avoiding to take action here, or why this other person avoids taking action. And it seems to be an overall avoidant behavior with you, to not feel your feelings true and true. So we saw the Two of Swords as well, and here we have the Four of Swords. Both cards are similar. It's a situation where you try to keep balance by sometimes avoidance. But the butterflies here on your head is promising that if you go with this, this is almost like digesting with your first stomach. Then we have Five of Swords, accepting humiliation, ego dies, and then Six of Swords, true and true digestion. You just accept, logic and heart goes together. So this is 4, when you just start to stay with it, whatever is. Usually here it's pain, it's probably emotions that's affecting your thoughts. Just stay with them and be very aware. Here we have the Fool. So the Fool is a new beginning, but it's also children. It's connected to the pages as well. So it's about the inner child of you, and it seems like the inner child of you is kind of in peace, and is rather happy, and wants to evolve. So it seems like you have got to a certain point where maybe you are not so fearful of your pain and your past anymore, but actually it starts to become a little bit more like an adventure, a new adventure. You're starting to get much more courageous and able to take whatever comes. Probably you're getting more resilient whenever you are learning to stay with the pain, and you see that it's not a big fat dragon eating you alive, it's just frequencies and vibration. You're starting to digest it, and you're becoming also, as I said, adult, resilient, because it's like, okay, I've been through this, I felt this pain and I survived, and I can still feel it, and it's not bothering me in the same way anymore, because I accept it, I don't resist it anymore. So therefore you become much more brave, much more cool, much more happy. So this is the reward that comes after you have started to digesting your pain and staying with it instead of running away from it. So it seems like, Scorpio, you have gotten the message from your pain, and you're starting to feel this adventurous feeling about, okay, so it wasn't so bad. It's making your whole life much easier when you can see that you can take whatever comes, whatever rejection, whatever loss, because you now can be with your own feelings without squirming like a maggot on a dry road. Okay, so you don't do that anymore, because you accept whatever is, and you just go with it, and you're actually not a maggot on a dry road. You're just a soul that's trying to digest some old pain, or some recently awakened pain as well, but usually it goes in circles. What happened to you in a past life will repeat, but with lesser dynamics. The first time you might have been, for example, dying in a burning building, so that was the big trauma, and now it's just the scare of going into a big building that you might be dealing with, like panic attacks or things like this, or you're always faced with having to work or being sent to big buildings. So that's or it can also be like a minor fire that you need to put up with a fire extinguisher. It's a trauma, and you won't even realize why you are so upset, and your adrenaline is pumping and everything is like but it's because your body, your spiritual body, is remembering how it was to die in that fire in a big building somewhere like 200 years ago or so, and now you just play it over and over again, so you will be able to digest that memory. So a lot of your life, a lot of the sceneries in your life is just set up there for you to be able to digest whatever you have been through. That was a terrible accident, but in the same time it has some knowledge to you that is like valuable, like emerald. So you need to get to the knowledge past all the pain and hurt, and how you do that is through digestion. So what did we have here? Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is a Taurus, so it's connected to the cow, and the cow has a lot of stomach that will be able to digest whatever. So that's a good sign. Okay. And here we have the little Ten of Wands. So 10 of Wands is it's like a firestorm. It's 10 of fire. And it's a lot of energy. We can see this little person, it's all red in the background. It's often this 10 of Wands is like a volcano just before the volcanic eruption. And we can see here again, it's a child. So it's something with your natural expression that wants to come forward. Maybe you could... you have a natural expression that might be very explosive. Try to look at it, what it's coming from, what is fueling your explosive energy. So it might be, for example, you can't stand a certain feeling in your body, because we have feeling here. And this little person can't stand this feeling in their body, so they need to run around the house 10,000 times, like this. Instead of staying, like this girl with the pain, it's running around like this, going crazy. It might also be that everything is happening inside of this little creature, this craziness, but they are trained and domesticated to not show. If you were a child, you might be running around the building. If you're a grown-up, you just hold it up inside, and it might come out as anger or aggression, or it can be a number of things. It can be sounds. You can make certain sounds or have certain words that comes out, and really they are just this. It's like a safety vent for all this energy that wants to come out. What you need to do again is put your eye on this what am. Put your eye here, your attention, and see what's happening. The feelings, the big, like this is like a racehorse in a starting box. It's full of energy, and it doesn't really know what to do with the energy. It might like flat out and die on the spot if no one is opening the door so it can run out. It's something going on with you still, something fueling here, a lot of energy. Yes, okay. Next card is Three of Wands. That's also a card of fire, and it comes underneath Four of Swords. The Three of Wands is what you want. You have something that you're longing for, and you might not want to admit it to yourself. I think I've told you this before, or it was some other sign. It was the story about the fox that was starving in the winter time. It was snow everywhere, and the only thing that was to eat in the whole forest was red little berries up in a tree. In Swedish, it's called rön. It's a special tree. It has these berries. But the fox, it jumped and jumped and tried to reach to those berries, but it wasn't able to. A bird was sitting in the tree and eat the berries, and it said, "Do you want some? Do you want some berries?" But the fox was humiliated by the fact that it couldn't reach the berries by themselves, so they said, "No, I don't want those darn berries. They are sour anyway." And this might be what you have done your whole life. You want something, you're almost dying to get this. We saw this with the Nine of Cups. You have a need, a big need, and you can accept everything as long as you want. You will still starve if you don't get this need met. The fox might sit itself down in meditation position and say, "Okay, I accept I will die this winter." But if it really would have followed through with his need, it had asked the bird for help. "Can you please give me some berries?" And either the bird would have been the great Samaritan and give the fox the berries or not. So sometimes we are at the mercy to other people, and they need to fulfill our needs, or we'll starve to death. So I'm thinking this is what's going on. You have a need that's involving other people. And that's where it's getting very tricky and difficult, because we can't force other people to love us. But what we can do is acknowledging that we are about to starve to death if we not get those berries. The Three of Wands is like your ship coming in. You have something that you want. Your soul wants it. Your soul needs it. This is all fire here. This is coming from your soul. It has something that it's longing for, and if it gets what it longs for, you fulfill your soul's purpose on earth. So don't start to just to be like enlightened, or be like the fox and say, oh, I didn't want that relationship, that work, that career, that partner anyway, or that friend, because it would have been awful to have them. A lot of work. I want to be single. I want to be free. So that can be how we are saying, but inside us we are crying for maybe our soulmate or our soul's purpose. So some of us might have like a longing for a person, or a longing for a certain thing we have dreamt of all our lives, probably since childhood, because of all the childhood cards. So it's something that has been with you the whole life, but might have been like always out of reach for you. And this is telling me, this reading is telling me that you need to acknowledge this, whatever it is. And if you at least know that you want this with all your heart, you want those berries, you don't want to starve to death, that's a good start. Okay, that's showing that we have some spark left in you. You still want to survive. Yes, and here we have the Seven of Wands. So Seven of Wands is like really fighting for something that you want. It can be fighting against something you don't want as well, but it's usually less efficient. If you fight for something you do want, that's usually much more efficient. And you have it underneath the Fool. So it says put in all the effort you can to get whatever it is that you want from this situation. Be courageous, be relentless. Fight for your soul's longing. Okay, don't give up. It's the horns here. It's actually small tree branches coming out of her head, and here we have Taurus. We see those small tree branches there. So it's like now. Here you were trying to figuring out, but suddenly you have all the antennas here, the small pages. They are tuned in. Finally, someone is listening to them. You have switched in the right canal. So it's beautiful. You're learning. You're getting to know yourself, and yes, you acknowledge I don't have the things I want. So you're not in like. Okay, you might be in great anticipation. This is great anticipation. It's panic attacks, anxiety. Like, I want what I need this. So it can be, it was too great, this anxiety that you felt for this, what you wanted. So you started to become much more like acceptance. Okay, I don't have this, what I want, and this is how it is. And this is much what we see in the first row, like you are starting to accepting that the pain is there and you don't have what you're longing for, and the situation that you're in is not what you want, but it's what is. So it's like living in the now, accepting the now. But here we see something else is growing inside of you, and this is the want towards what it is that you did want from the very start, but you didn't get it here. And here you acknowledge that you didn't get it, but you still want it. Okay, so you still want it. You just need to find other ways of getting it. Okay, and this is where it gets tricky, and it's putting a lot of pressure onto you to be very smart and resilient and being a great problem solver, because you need to try new things to get what you want. The fox could ask the bird for help, or look on the weather. Will there come a storm? Maybe some berries will come down. Or maybe it could find a similar tree with lower hanging branches, like easier to get what you need from a person, maybe that's more willing to give it to you. So if we say that the berries is this very sought after relationship, or as I said, some creative expression here, because this is very creative. It's straight from your soul. So it might be like following a music career, or you want to be a writer, you want to be a jockey, maybe with that racehorse, or you want to be a submarine captain, or whatever it is that you want. So it might be lower hanging branches that you can use. Maybe you can't go to the usual sources. Maybe you need to find like a crash course that's for dummies, or find a lover that's actually also wants to give love, instead of searching for someone that's so hard to reach. Okay, so you need to see where this is a possibility in your life, and start looking for those opportunities where you can actually get your dream happen. Like this, whatever you want, make it happen and put in the effort. If you don't have it, it means that you have not putting in enough effort. So sometimes that is the truth. And here is your future, my dear Scorpio. And here you have the Queen of Pentacles. I remember you had to leave the Queen of Pentacles somewhere in the fall or so, because you had to find yourself. And now we have this Page of Cups and the Ten of Wands. So it seems like you still want this Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles can be whatever. It can be this very sought after relationship, commitment, marriage. It can be having a lot of money, abundance. It can be having this, this is Virgo. It can be Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. It can be any star sign, like a person or sun sign. Star sign is what we say in Swedish, but any person that resembles this description. The Queen of Pentacles is a very resourceful person, usually very creative, maybe very good with taking care of their appearance, their household, their money, their resources, and very unconditional with giving things away also, being a very generous person. It can be a school teacher as well, trying to teach someone something. It can also be, it's a good friend, this awesome lover. It's a lot of different things. So this might be what you want. You might have had to deny it in the past, but now you can't deny that you want this, okay? You want this, whatever it is. And here's Taurus and there's Virgo. So it's very down to earth. It's very much about your needs, about not starving to death. And it might be mirrored by earthly persons in your life, or people working towards the same goals or wanting those things. Okay. Next card here is Temperance. So it means that this time you need to be a little bit more smarter about this. Before you have to deny it, and now you can't deny it anymore, but you need to go back with more balance. So it's not about like black or white, have or not have. It's about having, but maybe being able to communicate better instead of silent treatment or talking, like telling more. This is how it is from my point of view. Or you might even have to convince someone, like a boss that give you a chance of working there, or in other ways prove yourself to be worthy. This is Sagittarius, and we have also Sagittarius there. Ten of Wands, and here is Leo in Mars, so it's very fiery. All this triangle here is very fiery. You need to put some effort into this, and you need to put all your soul into this. You can't act like modest, like with the Four of Swords. You need to be more a little bit more temperamental, but in some same time very diplomatic. So how are you like that? Well, you are very grown up, and you say exactly what it is that you want. And you might not take no for an answer the first 10 times. Eventually, you will accept the fact, no was the answer here. I have tried 10 times. That is also very adult. So all those things, to be relentless, but also knowing when to stop, and like being able to see things from a very above perspective. And you have those beautiful dragonflies there. It's an amazing spiritual symbol. A lot about hope, but also seizing the day, seizing the moment. Very spiritual. Carpe diem. So go out and do whatever it is that you were set out to do, that your soul was set out to do. Follow your longing. Don't feel stupid for following your longing. If you reach for the stars, you might, if you aim for the stars, you might reach the treetops. And here you have a Queen of Swords. So we have two queens here. Neither of them are water, but one of them is definitely you. Probably both sides are you, but one might be your shadow. So we have one side that's very unconditional and giving, one side that's a little bit more smart, and this side is a little bit more desperate. I can see also they are trying so many different things. They are trying to either give everything or hold back everything, give everything or hold back everything. So here they probably need to temper themselves. This with the Fool and the Seven of Wands is a person that's a little bit more smart about this. They are aimed towards what they want, and they are they are trusting. Okay, they don't they are not this black and white either or, like either I show all my emotion or I'm not showing any emotion at all. It's more like they are on a like a more, this is maybe like a pulse, beep 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 beep, this is beep, so it's very like an arrow. It's like you have a plan and you will get there. You won't let anything stand in your way for getting this. This is Libra. It can be an air sign, earth sign or air sign that you're involved with, or you taking in earth or air sign qualities. So air sign here, you're able to see yourself and others and not take things personally. Okay, it's not about you, what another person does. If another person act like that, it might just mean that this person wasn't for you and you need to move on and try the same thing but with another person or in another situation. So it's like being very aimed towards success and not let any failure attach themselves to you. So it's not weighing you down and making you change your course from your soul's longing. So keeping your course steady. I'm feeling like a submarine captain here again for some reason. Okay. And here we have this, yes, life renewed. So I'm thinking this expression in their eyes, even this is a young girl and this is a mature woman. It's this expression of I know something. And so go with this knowing. You know something, you have known it your whole life. You might not have get it. So all this proof of you being wrong might be overwhelming, but you still want it. It's still what your soul wants to get to. And it might be a really hard assignment, and not saying it that it's going to be easy. But since your soul is set to have this, if you get it, it will probably solve not only a bunch of problems for yourself, it might solve problems for a lot of people, like spreading on rings on water. So if you get what you want here in this situation, it might free a big chunk of humanity from something, from an old karma, from an old I'm thinking about this fox again that said the berries were so sour. It's kind of giving up before you give up. Maybe you will lead people to be able to get what they want regardless of what's coming in their way. And I'm not meaning of stepping over corpses. I just mean that your longing is true. So follow the longing and fulfill your life's mission. Okay, so I will take a card for you, Scorpio, to see where you're at here. Shop wood. Okay. Shop wood, it's what we used to, there's a saying, before you are enlightened, shop wood. After you are enlightened, shop more wood. So this is what's happening. We are thinking that when we finally get enlightened, life will be like something else, but it's still mundane things needs to be done. So you can't sit on your behind and just starve to death. You still need to, still have work to do. So, being grounded in everyday experience, humility. There are times when the big dreams is meant to lie dormant in your consciousness so that you can pay attention to the simple chores in your life. So if you find it very hard to reach for the stars immediately, like what I see here, and you're more in this state, follow this advice. Consider why pruning a tree is the forerunner of delighting it in the beautiful blooms when it is in full blossom. The mundane act of pulling off dead leaves, watering the soil, and then leaving it be to let nature take its course is an important step into manifestation. Taking your attention away from your goal brings you in a state of receptivity. This is the deeper purpose for releasing attachment. When you engage in everyday tasks in meditative, contemplating way, you clear your energy to receive your aha moments, which bring you ever closer to what you seek. So what I'm seeing here is your balancing act between this, being in this anticipation, I want this now, and I'm going to starve to death if I don't have it, and this kind of, okay, whatever is, I don't have it, it's not here, so I don't need to worry about it. So you detached. It's like what I used to say on my personal readings, that you are a mountain, and this is the rock method. You are a mountain. You have no past. To the past, it's only green forest. You have no future. To the future is only green forest. So you're a rock. You have been there for eons. You have no past. You have no future. From your mountain is coming a stream. The stream is with all your longings, all that was written that you were supposed to accomplish in this life. And I want you to have no longing, and therefore no anticipation and no anxiety. None the Nine of Swords, just here and now, being here and now. And also no anticipation and no control. So if something comes and wreck your beautiful inner garden or the thing that you do, you just chop wood and you fix it. If a hurricane drives through your garden, you fix it. If someone else ruins your emotional balance, you fix it. And you don't victimize yourself about it. It's just that, okay, today I needed to fix my garden because a hurricane went through. If a hurricane went through very often, like every other week, maybe you will move your garden elsewhere. And it's the same for every hurricane relationship. You might move yourself elsewhere if someone always throws you out of balance, but you let go of control, and you don't have control. You don't control others, and also you don't take things personally. Whatever another person does is on their conscious level, or whatever the divine throws at you, like a hurricane, is not personal either. It's just you getting new assignments, and you just do those assignments. So this might be sometimes what you need to put yourself into, the state of mindfulness, the gray rock method, being this rock with no past, no future, no anticipation, no control, and to not take things personally, because that is going to make you ready for the next state. You have cleaned everything out. You are not in this anticipation mood, and now you're ready to really live when the opportunity are given to you. So we have earth here and air. So it's the Gaia and the wind, and they are going to be tempered between them two. So only wind will make empty space. Only earth will not leave any room to breathe. So you need to do both here. You both need to be grounded and free. You need to have the cake and be able to be free from it. And so free yourself from the anticipation. Don't free yourself from the goal. You will reach it eventually. Okay. So also, and don't compare yourself to others. If others are more quicker, it's just mean that they might lose touch of some details on the road that are for you to see. So we are having different courses, and some is skipping hastily to the courses, and some needs to put more attention to it to get a really thorough foundation of learning. So don't compare yourself to others. Be led by the path before you. You may wonder if you are on the right path. You may have a choice to make and are uncertain to which decision will be the right one for you. I scatter petals to scent the wind and blessings to reveal the way. Though at times you may fear that you are being led astray, trust in your own unfolding life journey, for the path before you is the one I have blessed. So it's saying that you might have a choice. Also, we have Three of Wands. Might be a choice between an earth and a air sign for you, for example. And we have this this being spread here, the feathers and the petals from the flower. So there's signs all around you all the time, showing that when you get these signs, sometimes it will be like with numbers. When you see like 1111 and 222 and all those things, it might be, I take it since I started to see it some, yes, it's 2006. I took it in the beginning. I thought, oh, I need to call my friend because she had a number that was with a lot of the same digits, but she never wanted anything important. So so eventually I decided that, okay, I'm on a synchronistic road, and every time I see those numbers, I know I'm on the right path. It's like I'm being hooray, like, yes, doors are opening. So it can be numbers, it can be feathers. I also see feathers wherever I go, especially if I'm in this mood. I get feathers, so I will see, okay, I'm still on the right path, so it's cool. I can leave the anticipation behind. And of course, for some of you, it might be It might be other signs like flowers and nuts, or just people or things being said, like on television, commercials, in a movie you are watching, or what people says. I had a week when blast from the past was coming from all directions and yes, from every different channels. So it can come like this. So you will have a lot of symbols coming to you, showing you and encouraging you to say to you that you are on the right path, and you can take it easy. You can take a deep breath. All this in the middle here is about taking a deep breath, and you will get where you are supposed to go. It's like predestined already. Oh, okay. So I hope this helped. I want you to take really good care, and I welcome you back to my March reading that I will perform in the middle of February. Okay, bye-bye.